Speaking of platforms that support creatives, let's talk about ones that don't support creatives. Let's talk about Black British entertainment.
That's a big question.
So I put this down just because there was a during the BAFTAs, so a person, I can't remember the name, that's probably I remember the name, but they won the award. I think it was a black creative won an award at the BAFTAs, and he did a speech, and during his speech he was talking about how black creatives, especially in the UK, have been defunded, and it's very hard for us to actually get in the forefront. So I wanted to list this down because I remember during the Black Lives Matter movement, there seemed that there was a lot of investment into black British entertainment. We got a bunch of different TV shows. We got Borders. We got Dreaming While Black, and we got countless others. Even Channel 4 did they did Back to Front, which was a program where they were putting a lot of investment into content creators and having them have their own shows.
It was like a day, it wasn't like a full day of like black content.
Yeah, I think ZZ Mills had a talk show.
Yeah.
There was countless other. I think Mo Gilligan had something
yeah.
had something involved in there as well. But then these last 2 years, it seemed like a lot of those stuff have been kind of like pushed aside, been cancelled, and
the black talent stuff, especially for Channel 4, has now just gone online.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like strategy, because like a lot of these companies want to reach an under 35 audience, and traditionally, well, more than ever, under 35s don't sit and watch linear TV. Like if you ask 10 of your friends how many of you own a TV and how many of you watch like satellite channels, like, you know, like your BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, like how many actually watch it on the actual TV?
Yeah.
Probably half of them will say, I don't. I watch it via an app.
Yeah.
I watch it on demand. Like I watch it with a Fire Stick or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like because of that, the pivot like to like YouTube and to other platforms,
YouTube has made a huge rise on.
But I think it's about that's interesting, but I think it depends on the quality of
the content,
because we can see, especially like for example with Apple Plus TV was on like actual channels.
Yeah.
People would actually go and watch it. And I think, for example, HBO's Industry, they're currently doing the new season. But like you saw how excited people were once the BBC acquired that.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't a situation where people were just watching it on BBC iPlayer. People were actually watching it in linear moment, right?
Yeah. Which is not great for the BBC. Guys, don't do that.
But like it's just like interesting to see that.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
So like it depends, and like when I was in uni and we were learning about the way in which behavioral patterns towards watching or consuming media is happening, it was a big thing where it's like it depends on the type of viewer you want to attract. Because if you have a FOMO based viewer, the fear of missing out, because everyone is having the water cooler conversation.
Yeah.
Now you're forcing yourself to watch this in real time, so then you can join in the conversation. But now, because these third spaces where the water cooler conversation are now depleting, so the workspace or the coffee shop or like the clubs and all of that are actively depleting.
I'm sorry, who's in the club chatting about Severance?
I do it in the smoking area. I won't even be smoking. I'll just be there in the smoking area catching a breath, yapping. Love it.
Did you see last episode?
But like it will be a situation, or even in the girls' toilet. I'm that person. It will be a situation where these spaces are no longer existing, so that type of FOMO audience is depleting.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
that is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think and I guess that means that there is a move to them. These spaces, then being like online. Like, you know, like people doing like recaps, like, or going live to recap Love Island every night and stuff like that. And that's where the spaces become sort of like in the like metaphysical, even though they're not physical.
So then that comes into like dual watching, where you're like watching it in live time and then also being on social media at the same time.
Yeah.
Commenting away as you're watching it.
That literally used to be when I used to watch UK Love Island. I don't watch it anymore. That used when Twitter was still good and British. I used to love doing that. I would say 9 p.m. in the summer, no one talked to me. I have to be in my house because I cannot miss what will happen on Twitter when Love Island comes.
The memes were
it was a
sensational.
emotion. It was when everyone community was like community. I don't know what's the word. When everyone got together collectively. I say community. That's crazy. Clip that. When everyone got together and like reacted to a show in real time was like a moment, which I think is kind of gone down. Especially, I think in the UK maybe mostly because I think White Lotus probably has that type of feel for Americans.
Sort of. I feel.
But I feel like it has the film. I feel like it has the sentiment across the board though, because I think they time it really well. Like I'm like 90. No, I think actually no, I'm a liar. I think the last kind of thing I feel like that collectively united like us and the Americans for the same time zone was when they used to do Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I remember
that was the last time.
it'll be on at like 1 a.m. or something, or like midnight or something stupid like that in the UK. So that would be coming on the same time as the US. And I remember being at my ex's house and we'd like have to like be up at like some stupid time to watch it, so we could like watch it like in real time basically and not get any spoilers because we hated the fact that you, like the next day
the next day as soon as you went on socials it was everywhere.
Yeah, because Sky Now had it come out in the UK like the day after or the day before,
literally.
Oh, yeah, bare phone calls. So I won't answer it.
Thank you, Junior. Really appreciate that. But like in terms of like Black British TV and film, we're like also seeing a decline, not in viewership, because there's shows that people are genuinely wanting to watch, and then they're just getting cancelled.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because also like your publication kind of explores like the Black British entertainment space.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because sometimes I think I exist in a bit of an echo chamber. And actually, I was talking to a friend about this yesterday because we went to yesterday we went to go and see a play at the Bush Theatre, which is one of my favorite theatres in the entire world. Which is actually quite a broad thing to say. Maybe not the entire world because I've not travelled the whole entire world yet. But yeah, at the moment, like I love the Bush. And we went to see a play there, and I remember basically saying to her like I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, oh, sometimes I feel like I do myself a bit of a disservice because if a play feels like too like quote unquote white, I'm like, I don't want to go and see it. But she was like, no, because like there's a play at the moment on and it's called Till the Stars Come Down, and she's like, it's the best play you'll see like this month, I guarantee it. And I was like, oh really? And she was like, trust me, you will love it. So now I'm gonna go see that. But that's like a quote unquote white play. And I feel like I see a lot of, I think because of the work that I do, like even at my day job, like oftentimes I'd ask to get put on Black content. So I worked Borders series 2, Dreaming Whilst Black series 1 when that first came out. I begged to be put on that for like a social, like and was like a social junior on that. When the rap game comes every year, I ask to get put on that just because I love the content, and I think sometimes it's
also really important to have someone work on that is
reflective of
the culture.
Yeah.
Because one of the big things that I used to get, and I won't say exactly what, was that would have a handful of creatives, and then the topic would be like Black Girl Magic, for example. Where's the black girl? Where is the magic?
Where's the magic?
You like that?
Where or where?
Where? And then it's like, okay, so you don't have to have a black girl, but maybe having someone black who understands the black experience.
Yeah.
Someone who's of mixed race heritage who understands the black experience. So how are we doing the black girl experience or black girl magic when you actually have no idea about it?
Yeah.
And then you can completely go left.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's like the danger of, I guess, like, living in that space. But then also as well, there is, to be confrontational, there is that thing of like not everyone experiences their blackness in the same way.
It's not monolithic.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it can also be potentially a stressor for some, and I never minded being in this space because I wanted to be in those spaces. I wanted to be that voice in that room when there potentially wasn't going to be another black voice or a voice of color in the space. But I think sometimes like you can also have that other side where it's like you're inviting someone into space but actually they've not been a part of that experience or had that experience or knowing or almost like the experience is not something that they know, so they can't speak to it in the same way, and I think that also can create a level of like dissociation.
Yeah.
So I think it's difficult, but I think in terms of like British TV, I think the pacing is good. I just think at the moment, I think it almost doesn't feel like, I don't know if I'm like wrong or right to say this, crucify me if I am, I don't know, but I almost feel like the picking up of content that is specifically Black is one issue itself, but I think the wider issue is set in the fact that there's no budget anymore in these spaces.
It's just
Yeah,
no
yeah.
budget in general for
Yeah.
like British film and TV, and it's been a big problem
Mm.
since austerity cuts. And so it's definitely affected a lot of people staying in the space,
yeah.
let
Yeah,
alone
yeah,
being in it.
Yeah, like
A lot
I
of
know
people
so many
left.
people that have like wanted to pursue careers in film and TV and have been in the career space for like 3, 4, 5 years and then left to go and do something in tech because they're just like, I can't see progression in this space, or like we've been pushing to get this one product over the line for 3 years and it's just not happening, and I just don't just don't see it for myself anymore, so I'm just not going to stay in it, which is like valid, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's hard when you're pushing so hard and there's just the budget isn't there, or they don't believe in the actual script itself, and I think that happens across the board, and I think it does actually take production companies to step out in faith and like be like, actually, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
And I think obviously like with the recent announcement as well that Daniel Taylor Lawrence, what's the way his
Daniel Taylor, I don't know who it is.
the way around. But he directs Borders.
Okay.
He's the
Wait, he's got
he writes Borders, I should say, rather.
He's got a deal
plays
in
the
it.
teacher,
Yeah.
He's doing
doesn't he,
another
as well?
he's doing another show.
Yeah.
He plays Gus too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the writer and creator of Borders recently has been announced that he has a deal with the production company Studio Lambert that make Borders to do more content with him. So I think that's a positive sign for like the community in the space. But obviously,
Nice.
once again, it is a thing of like,
he needs to make sure that it's good quality stuff that people are worthy of watching beyond just the Black audience.
Yeah. And I think so that's also the hard thing, because it's like sometimes you want to make something that speaks to the Black experience, and that is amazing, but then it's like people tell you that's too niche, we haven't got the numbers, we're doing 35,000 on just the Black experience, but if you were to adapt your script and to make it more widely appealing, we're doing 135,000, and what's going to get recommissioned? So I think it's annoying because it is such a strategic thing, but also I do really applaud the production companies and the commissioners and the talent agents that actually say like, let's go out on a limb and let's make this and let's actually see what happens. And I think a lot of that also does start from like commissioning shorts and commissioning pilots and just having the sort of strength to say, I want this on my slate for the year. And I think a lot of people are doing that, which is really good, but I think it is still really hard. And I do think sometimes as well it's difficult because I think sometimes we have all this content that is like white content, and like whatever it is, it gets so widely accepted, and it's just like it can be terrible, but it might still run for 3 seasons.
But is that to do with the audience as well? Because I feel like you mentioned short films, but I feel like do Black British people watch short films? And I don't mean, of course we watch short films, but I mean the average person average Black person, British person that may watch a movie or two, may go cinema like once a month. Would they know about a short film or these TV shows that are coming out?
This goes back to like the conversation of accessibility. Like when we start talking about how people consume media or like have media knowledge, it's knowing where to consume it or having access to it. And a lot of people don't know. So I think that activations, like out of house activations, are a great way of doing that. But it's like money again.